Hey, what's up, guys? Just gonna go ahead and get the live stream set up. I just walked in the door, so give me a second to get everything pulled up here, chat wise, and we'll get started. But let's go and do an audio check, and let me know how bad the echo is in here. Now, I've added a few things. I don't have the camera up running right now, so I apologize. But trying to cut down on the echo in here, but it just seems like it's not working. So let me know. Either way, let me go and pull up the chats here. And hey, thanks for all the support on the shorts that I've been putting up the last few days. I know they're not the greatest content, but I do appreciate you guys supporting those. Let me pull up the chat. Hope everybody's doing well. Here we go. Let me turn that off. Hear myself. All right, so the notification just went out, which is pretty cool. Thanks. Feel free to give it a thumbs up. Pop out the chat. And we'll get started now. I guess in this live stream, I really want to get some feedback because I'm taking some ideas here for content wise. I'm trying to. Hey, Carson, can you give me Carson? How's the audio? Is it good, man? I know you gave it a thumbs up, but just let me know. Can you hear me? Am I all right? Let me put this over here. Looking for some feedback regarding what you guys are looking for from the channel. Let's, honestly, I mean, for those of you who've been here for a while, we're good. Thanks, Carson. I kind of want to know, before we get into Q&A stuff, I want to know what you guys think. Obviously, the channel has changed over the last 2 years. You guys know that, a lot of things came up in my personal life. Now, I have the boys by myself. So, things have changed when it comes to getting certain content done in some of those extended videos. But what I want to know is coming to the channel, either if you're new or you've been here, what things about the channel are you guys looking to get out of it? What are you guys expecting at me as a creator? I mean, are you looking for Q&As? You looking for DIY stuff? You looking for just more videos in general? I kind of want to get a perspective because I'm kind of going through here and writing down ways to improve and some things that I could focus on to kind of get back into the content. You said DIYs, so like projects and stuff like that, Carson. Yeah, I definitely miss doing those. A little bit of everything, George. Yeah. I'm just kind of looking for not ideas on specific things, but what people are expecting when they come to the channel. Obviously, I've never been the type of channel that is trying to be like everybody else. I don't do sponsorships here. You guys know that Geo's Reef helped sponsor the 300 back then. Back when I started it, same thing with Custom Aquariums. Outside of that, I haven't really done sponsorships. I tried a couple that they didn't work out, as in I didn't like the product. So I'm not about selling you other people's things. Of course, I do promote my own, 3D printing in my coral when I have coral, because obviously I got to make a living, right? So, but yeah, anyways, yeah, a lot of you guys are just kind of happy I'm back. I appreciate that, Caleb. So yeah, there's been some pretty big changes down in the fish room. I think I'll give you guys a video on that tomorrow. I'll create that after I get done running around. But yeah, you guys can either email me with what you think, what you want from the channel, or you can send me a DM on Instagram, or if you message me on Facebook, I don't think it goes through anymore. I think it goes straight to, it's not a spam folder, but I guess it's a spam folder. I don't know. That's just the way Facebook's been lately. So, but yeah, so I'd be interested to know what you guys think. Last thing here, I wanted to mention that I have one of the Lobos left. It's on the website there. As I mentioned, I sent out a notification or on the community tab. If you are interested in it, let me know. I'm willing to sell it for 150. If you can provide proof that it's going to a good home. So send me pictures of your tank. Give me a little bit of breakdown of how old the tank is, just some of your experience, how long you've been in the hobby. I've turned down quite a few people already, and I don't want anybody to get offended. I've had a couple people get pissed off because I wasn't selling it to them. I've had people order them and then I refunded their money just because I don't know. It's a sentimental coral. I was kind of iffy about fragging it in the first place, but because I have limited room in the 300 with it being so large, I didn't really have much of a choice. So I really want to make sure that they go to a good home. So I have one frag left. It's actually the biggest of them all. If you're interested in it, let me know. It's on the website, so you can see what it looks like. But I'm willing to do it for 150 plus, of course, you got to pay for shipping. So yeah, I'm picking up my pen here. So let me know what you guys think if you guys want that. Again, you got to provide proof that it's going to a good home. No nano tanks, and I really don't want to give it to anybody under a 40-gallon, preferably. Just kind of personal preference. Again, don't get too offended by that. Other than that, I am rebuilding every printer downstairs. I have finally, after 2 years of 3D printing, I finally I brought one of my printers up here and I dialed it in. As in, I've got a new hot end. I went ahead and custom made direct drive blocks, test fitting. I mean, I've gone to the extreme to make this printer perfect or the best that it could possibly be on an Ender 3 frame. So now that I've done that with one, I have to go through and do it 22 times or 21 more times. So I I'm in the process of doing that. It's going to take me a little while because it's not as easy as most people would think it'd be. But I was having a lot of issues with clogging, um, just parts breaking down in general. Wear and tear was not, it was a little bit more than it should have been. So I've addressed all those issues. It took me probably a better part of a month to dial this in. But either way, it looks pretty sweet. I'll show you guys at some point. Yeah, it's one of a kind for sure. Anyways, there's a question here. Let me go ahead and answer this before I keep rambling. Do you sell the 3D printer upgraded files or anything? I don't sell any of my files. Now, if you're overseas and you want, okay, I'll be realistic with you. If you're overseas and you want like a CO2 attachment or something from me or a file that I have, I will sell you the file, but it won't be cheap. And I'm gonna have to have you sign something saying that you're not going to mass produce it either, because that's the reason why I don't sell my files, is because people use the ideas and then sell them. I've had that already happen early on when I was just starting this. I wasn't paying attention, and I was just selling files because people are like, "Hey man, I got a printer. Can you sell that file?" I'm like, cool, give me $20. And then it comes to find out that joker's selling them at the next frag swap. So yeah, I won't mention any names, but it's pretty frustrating. So sorry for the chair kind of being all squeaky here. So if you're overseas and there's something that you really want from me or something you want custom made, yes, you can buy the file, but you will be signing something saying that you won't be selling it. Yeah. So I'll have to work that up. You can hit me up. Be good to go. Yeah, because I haven't got into shipping overseas yet. And my CPA, which the person who does my bookkeeping, for tax purposes, says that's not a good idea to invest into that right now. Yeah, but I want to at some point. Do you know of any good budget price pH testers, probes? Been having growth issues, and I think it's due to pH, but I don't have any way of testing it. I want to make sure I use something accurate. Okay, so I would say that's a pretty sweet gun, whatever that is. It's hard to tell in a thumbnail, but it looks pretty sweet. Look, that's not a Glock. No, it's not a Glock. Anyways, feel free to tell me what kind of gun that is. It looks pretty sweet. Now I'm distracted. I'm gun distracted. Either way, so when it comes to testing pH, I mean, you can do like a Hannah or something like that, but I really wouldn't worry about testing it. I think your best bet is to do as much as you can to elevate the pH and just see what happens from there. That means you can add a CO2 attachment. You can add it, with the scrubber, the CO2 scrubber. You can plumb your skimmer line, the intake line outside, so you're pulling in fresh air. You can open up your windows. You can add surface agitation. I think I'm going to have to do an updated pH video because some things have changed. Yeah, so you can add your power. You can put power heads facing the surface to break up the water surface to release the CO2 buildup, again, giving more oxygen in the tank. You could put an air stone in your sump section as long as it's not near your return pump. There's a bubble trap somewhere. You can put it in your refugium. You can add macroalgae, which pulls out CO2. Those are the type of things I would try to do before even investing any money into testing and just see what it is. Most of the time, growth issues are not from pH. And I say that because I've gotten pretty good growth at 8.3. I think my best growth ever was at 8.3, but I've done really, really well with a calcium reactor at under 8 pH. So, I mean, I've done really, really well with that. So I don't think pH is going to be the issue. It's definitely not the primary issue of why you're not getting good growth. It could be water stability with your alkalinity. It could be you could be messing up or missing trace elements. I'd say before you invest in the tester, go ahead and send out an ICP test and kind of get an overall look at what you got going on in your water column and see what happens from there. I think that might be your best bet money wise. But yeah, let me see what you said. You said what this gun is. The gun is a double stacked 1911 9mm. It's 2011 copy, basically just Didn't cost me 3,000. That was pretty cool. About half that. Pretty good. Surface agitation and oversized skimmer, but I might try adding macro. Yeah, and then you can pull the air in from outside as well. So, what's up, Gabe? I'm going to scroll back up the question. Sorry about that. Can you print a light shade for an XR30? Yeah, I could do that. Do you have the file, Joe, or do you need me to make one? Just let me know. XR30 Gen 4. Isn't that what I'm rocking downstairs? No, I got XR15. So I would need to get an XR30 in here. If you have the file, Joe, let me know. If you have the file of anything you want printed, you can just go to the website and purchase print STL, print my STL, something like that, or print my files, something like that. And you can send me the file. I'll print it to whatever color you want and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yep. But let me know if you need me to make one. I just got to get the light and then I can make one. That's all. So got into brackish. Oh, that's fun. Wanted to go back to saltwater, but bad mixing the salt. Travis, I wish you could come build my dream tank setup. Well, if you get it and you can get me to Texas, I think you're in Texas, right, Missy? I'm pretty sure. I'll come build it for you. I've told quite a few people that I'd be happy to come help you build your tank. I've gotten the request several times. Unfortunately, a lot of you guys are out west. They're like, hey, man, can you come help me build my tank and all this stuff? I'm like, yeah, but you got to get me there. And, well, in this economy, I don't think anybody's got any extra money to be paying for. Can I talk in a third person for just a second? For anybody to be paying for Fish of Hex's plane tickets. Now, that just seems weird. I don't know how people do that. But yeah, so, if you're local, if you're like within a couple hours, man, I'll be happy to come help you out. If not, I can do it over Skype. I can do it over a live video. No problem doing that. But yeah, fish only for now. Speaking of that, I just picked up an angelfish yesterday. It's spoken for right now. One of my guys here locally, I think he's going to bring it to a nursing home. But beautiful angelfish. I have it in one of the low boys because it's definitely not going in the 300. Believe me, I don't got a lot of coral in that tank, but I'm not taking any chances. End up getting a yellow tang and not a Bangai cardinal, but the bigger version of it. The one with the yellow eye, the bigger version of the Bangai cardinal. I don't remember what it's called, but I got one of those too. Pretty cool. I was going to have a sail fin, but it didn't make it. So I was going to have 3 sail fins in that 300. That would have been fun. I already have 4 hippo tangs. Why not, right? Let's see here. What's the question here? No, I mean, like the upgrades that you added to your printers. So I'm willing to, if you want to do some like one-on-one stuff, I'm be happy to give you all my information on 3D printers. There is a reason why I don't talk too much about printers. Like I would love to do a whole series on showing you guys how to 3D print all this kind of stuff. But because it's a huge part of my business, and granted, I don't have a lot of coral anymore. I mean, I barely have anything. Like I'm actually starting over to grow so many things. So 3D printing is such a huge part of my business. Like if I'm teaching everybody how to 3D print for themselves, it's taking away from the business to a certain extent, not a crazy amount of stuff, but I've learned that lesson over the last few years of different products I've developed and different things I've done on YouTube, that sometimes some stuff just can't be shared because then you're taking away from your own income. And I know that sounds weird to a certain extent, but it's just, yeah, I'm willing to share information to you guys if you want to do some, one-on-one stuff. But it's taken me, like I said, a good part of a month to redesign the entire printer when it comes to working and all the modifications. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, I will tell you, I am using the E3D V6 hot end. That is the new hot end, at least. But everything else I'm kind of doing on my own rebuilt. But yeah, so it's just, I feel weird saying that stuff, but it's the truth. Yeah, I mean, I could share all that information with you, man. We already talked about the 911. What's up, Gabe? Speaking of Gabe, my kid Gabe, I just found out that he put a BB, like a from a Beanie Baby, in his ear. So now he has to go to the ENT and get that thing taken out. Kids, man, like, why would you put that in your ear? I mean, he's young; he don't know better. But I don't know. I guess I could ask my mom what the heck I've shoved in my ear at some point in my life. Yeah. With this cauliflower, I can't even stick my damn finger in my ear anymore. Like literally, I have to use a Q-tip for everything on that right ear. It's kind of annoying, to be honest. Distilled water, good for reef tank. I don't use distilled water. I don't Okay, so distilled water is steamed. Water was steamed, and it drips back down, making it distilled. I'm pretty sure that's what distilled. Almost positive that's why they do that. Now, last time I checked, distilled water is not zero TDS water. Not that I'm pretty sure it's not zero TDS. It might be close or really close. Ideally, you want zero TDS water. That means there's nothing, no zero, none, total dissolved solids, clean, fresh. That's ideally what you want for your reef tank. That way, you're not adding any minerals or elements or extra nitrates or phosphates or anything that could be causing instability in the reef tank. So that's what you're looking for. I don't know if distilled water. I have to see. I know a guy that runs a couple tanks locally, and he gets the distilled water from Walmart, and he uses that to do water changes and to top off the ATOs and stuff like that for these tanks. He's been successful with it for many years. So I've never personally used distilled water in any of my tanks. I guess I'd have to do some research. Maybe I'll just add that as a video idea. I'm sure somebody's done it before, but let me write it down. Distilled versus RODI, and I'll just look at it and just give you guys at least answer your question in another video for the sake of getting it out there. But yeah, so if any of you guys have used distilled water, feel free to put your information, what you guys think about it in the comment section. So, because I have not. I need you to make one. What are we talking about? Oh, make one from scratch for the XR30. Okay. You don't live local, do you, Joe? Probably not, based on that picture of that giant fish. Yeah, I'm trying to think. What gen is it? Did you say Gen 4 or Gen 5? I didn't see. I guess I can scroll up. But yeah, I mean, I need to get the light. Yeah, unless I can see if I can find one for you already. Just let me know. Send me an email, Joe. Send me an email with your information, where you live, and how far from Pennsylvania you are, and we'll figure it out. I usually make it work either way. Just trying to figure out what way to go. That's all. Gen 6. Okay, I'll have to see if I know. Gen 6. I don't know. I don't know anybody with a Gen 6 XR30. Huh. Trying to think of the best way to go about that. Didn't mean to say bad. Okay. I can't convince my landlord to let me drill a hole, run a line outside. What's the best way to do so you can't? Can't read. So I can't see getting it through the cracked window because my electric bill would be probably too high. Can you get it? Can you get something underneath the door? Like, would you be able to fit a piece of plastic under the door frame? Like where, some doors, when you open them up, they have that little piece of rubber underneath where you can, when you shut the door, it slides into place and kind of blocks bugs from coming in. I asked that because I could probably 3D print something that fits underneath there just enough to let it's wide enough to let enough air in, but then curves down and around into the tube, so you can install it underneath the door. That's an idea. Let me look at that. That might be worth even checking out. Door skimmer line, because that might be something worth looking into. And if not, you can always drill a hole and not tell anybody. That works. Fill them up before you leave, man. No, don't do that. And if you do, don't say you learned it from me. All right, here we go. That's something I do. Here we go. Missy says, do you think you can make a breeder box that can sit and hover on the edge of a tank inside the water with holes so the water can flow through, but the baby fry can't swim but still have flow? Well, it depends on how small the baby fry are. I mean, I can print something that has like a 1 millimeter or 2 millimeter slit wise, or even holes that are that small. But the thing is I don't know how small the fry is. I think at that point you might be best to get one of those net breeder boxes, which is essentially just like a net with a box attached to it where it doesn't let the fry go through the net. Let me know. Let me know how big the fry are, because if they're just fresh out of the egg, they're probably going to fit through pretty much any hole. That's why we usually isolate the fish in a different tank when they're pregnant, That way you can get the babies before they get chomped up by all the other fish. At least that's what we did with cichlids. Now let's see what here. Hey, what's up, reefers? Bob says, I'm having phosphate problems. I think getting from 0.19 one day, 2 days later, 0.1. Then back to 1.6, 2 days after that. I'm running a reactor with Roa Phos, change it every month, only feed mysis shrimp. Okay, so a couple things here. So if you're getting elevated phosphates with only feeding mysis shrimp, first of all, you can try to rinse the shrimp off in water first off before you put it in the tank. So thaw it out, then pour that through a net, and then just add that, or you can rinse it off with water, then add that to the tank. That will cut down on extra nutrients. But you didn't, Bob, how big is this tank? Answer that real quick. Also, it's an all-in-one. Does it have a sump? Does it have macroalgae? Do you have, what's your equipment like? Give me some more information while I'm rambling here, Bob. And it should pop up before I'm done talking. Anyways, so if you're getting excess phosphates to that point with only feeding mysis shrimp, there's a good chance you're getting phosphates from another source. So that means, especially with Roa Phos, so you're overcrowded in the tank. You have too many fish. Either the rock is dirty and it's leaching out, your sand has got nutrient buildup and it's leaching out. 75 gallon with some protein skimmer. Okay, what about macroalgae? Anything like that? How many fish do you have? And what kind of fish? Just trying to get as much information before I start dropping some stuff here. So, so you're getting nitrates, or sorry, you're getting phosphates from another source. And we just got to determine what that source is. Again, a block of mysis shrimp is not going to be enough to elevate a 75 gallon to that point. You're probably overstocked, which is pretty common in a 75 gallon, or your rock is dirty. Is it cured live rock? Was it rock from another tank? Was it dry rock that's never been used and you made it live and then put it in the tank? None. Six fish, fox face, 2 clowns. None. Okay. 6 fish, fox face, and 2 clowns. Okay. How big are these other fish? Approximately between the other fish in the fox face. Only reason why I ask is because that seems like a lot of fish for a 75 gallon, but if they're just small fish, it's probably not a big deal. So you're probably overpopulated. And then if you want to answer the question about the rock, if it was used in a prior system, what's your water change schedule like, that kind of stuff. So before you get all the information in there, rinse the mysis shrimp out. You can feed half as much. You can switch to feeding every other day. Your fish are not going to starve. So even if you go to feeding every other day, it will help lower that nitrates. Stay away from nori because anything plant matter is going to break down. It's going to contribute to more phosphates. And then go ahead and you whatever your water change schedule is. So if it's bi-weekly 20%, you can up that to just doing it every week, maybe 15%, just a little bit, and then go from there. What's up, Mr. NO3? So you can increase your water changes. You can cut back on your feeding. You can, I don't know how you are about taking the fish out. 18th month old, 10 gallon every week. Okay, so consider bumping up that water change maybe to 15 to 20 gallons a week until you get under control. Also with fish, you might want to pull out a couple of fish if they're getting too big or there's aggression or anything like that. So so you're getting, the point of all of this is you're getting excess phosphates from somewhere. We just got to find that source. I highly doubt it's from your food just because of the mysis shrimp. It doesn't really have that much in the first place, especially if you're rinsing it off. One thing you can do too is you can make a new batch of salt. You can test that for nitrates and phosphates and see what it's doing. Also double check your RODI system. Hopefully you have an RODI system. If you don't, then we already know what that problem is. Travis, you probably should have asked that earlier. Make sure you have an RODI system with 0 TDS. Don't forget to make sure you're checking that with the inline meters or with the handheld one. Whatever storage you have your RODI water in, make sure you test that with the water in it because sometimes the barrels will leach. RODI, 0 TDS water does have a tendency to pull out, I guess you can call them ions, but they pull out things from whatever they're touching. So I've had barrels in the past that were leaching into my water because ROI is looking for something. It's wanting to pull something into itself. So, Sorry about that. So yeah, so just make sure. I mean, those are just some few ideas. I mean, we can go on forever about this. I mean, basically, it comes down to a process of elimination. That's really what it is when it comes to solving an issue with a reef tank. So before you make any changes, you just kind of write everything out and you go through and just kind of see what could be contributing to this, and you just check things off and go from there. And then if you do make a change, don't change everything at once. So let's just say that you're you are feeding, but you're not rinsing it. So we'll implement that change, and then we'll also add an extra 5% a week in a water change. Do those two things for 2 to 3 weeks. See if your levels come down. If they don't, then we can incorporate maybe another change. Maybe, feed every other day, or increase the water change some more, or something like that. So just, the issue is that when we find a problem and we think it's from this, and this, we tend to change all of it at one time and then end up not knowing what actually caused the problem. So hopefully that helps. What the heck? Do you have NEM CKB VM? That might be a typo, Reggie. Reggie, what are you saying? Oh, okay, here we go. Do you have NEM covers for the Octopus 4? I don't see them on the site. I think I have the Octopus 2. Let me look. Let me just see what I have here. Let me go on the POW. You guys should click on 3D printed and let me know what you think about that new main page with all the stuff. Octopus 2. I don't, but if you send me your pump in, I can get that done in like a few days. Seriously though. If you order, hit me up, Reggie. I'll give you free NEM guards, a couple of them, if you send the pump to me. I could do that. I can make that real quick. That's not a difficult pump to make one for, especially with this new software. I could probably knock that out in like 20 minutes. But no, I don't offer it, and I would like to. So you should send me your pump. If you guys have any other pumps that you want guards for, you can send them in. I'll give you free guards, and then I'll pay for the shipping for that stuff to go back to you. So all you got to pay for is the shipping here, and then just go without that pump for a couple days, maybe a week. So just keep that in mind. Did I skip somebody? Here we go. I've used distilled water from Walmart. It's 0 TDS on my meters. Cool. Yeah, because my buddy uses that too. So cool. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know. All right, we already answered that question. That's what I did. I put dummy cable outlet where I drilled the hole. Oh, did I miss something? I think I missed something, man. I don't know what we're talking about with that. I apologize. NSB Reefs. I don't know what we're talking about. Refresh my mind. You're feeding reefroids, Bob. Well, okay, Bob. That's let me put that up there. If you're feeding reefroids, that's definitely a contributing factor to your phosphates for sure. Yeah, unless your tank is like full of LPS or slammed with coral, you really don't need to. Okay, let me back up before I get in trouble. Okay, so I don't feed my corals. I did it a little bit earlier on. Company sent me some products, trying it out, yada yada yada. You don't need to feed your corals. If you feed a high quality food, like I make my own food. If you want to learn how to make your own, there's a few videos on my channel on that. If you make your own food, you can make it in a way, like with me, I use the meat grinder, that it's so fine that when it goes into the tank and it gets shredded to pieces by the fish, the water column picks it up and it just spreads throughout the tank. I mean, when I feed my fish, the corals just blow up. They get all fluffy and everything because they're feeding as well during that. So I never have to feed my corals. I just feed my fish. So keep that in mind. I got to go back up and figure out where I was. Landlord, we talked about that. Phosphates, we talked about that. Pump guard. Found a file for a G5. I believe the specs are the same as the 6BRs. Also confirm this. Okay, so if you found the file, Joe, all you got to do is order the print STL, which I can probably find that. I so you have to look for it. Print STL. Let me type that in here. Print. Okay, so print your STL. Buy the one based on the size of the shade. All right. And then let me link this. And then just email me the file and I'll get it done. Pretty simple process. I'm sending it right now. Okay, so we talked about the 75 gallon, the fish. Missy says no, no net breeders. They suck. Maybe we can think of like a hole that we can put the media pads go through. Okay, you mean like build it so you could put filter floss around it or filter pads around the actual box? Is that what you're talking about? So I could build a box that has the slits for the water to go through, but also has a gap where you can slide sponge, like that 1 inch thick sponge media, into the slots, and then you could do that all the way around, or at least on either side, and let the water flow through that way. We can do that. I can print a box like that. Just it'd be a custom 3D item. Just let me know. I can do that. Yeah. What's up? I think I said hi to you already, man. Sorry about that. I'm just getting to the comment section here. RODI. Is it possible to do a large? Is it possible to do a large of a water change? You mean too large? Yeah, too large of a water change. Yes, it is possible. Now, let me explain something here. So, what's considered too large? So, I think anything 50% or more is too large. Now, it's only too large if you don't match the water parameters the way you should. So, if you're doing a 50% water change on a tank and the temperature is a few degrees off, that could cause unnecessary stress to the corals and the fish and all that stuff. Also, if you already have low nutrients in a tank and you do big water changes, you could bottom out the nutrients. You could end up getting dino or stressing out the coral. Even having excess nutrients and then doing it 50% and really dropping them too quickly, you can also stress out the coral during that process. So the only time I would recommend doing a 50% water change is if you're doing something to like if you're doing what is that interceptor, if you had like red bugs on your acropora, or you were doing something to get rid of flatworms or some kind of medication for the tank, or say your kid went over and took a dump in the tank or was urinating in it or something. Just saying, like if some kind of chemical or something foreign got into the tank and you needed to remove a lot of water to get as much of that out as possible, then yes, you got to play it. You got to weigh the pros and cons. Is the potential loss of coral because the fluctuation of nutrients and temperature and pH and all the alkalinity, all that kind of stuff. Is that worth the risk of whatever might be in that tank that could potentially wipe out all the fish and the coral? So you got to play that out in yourself and figure out kind of what you want to do. But I would stay under 50%. And if you're getting around that, you should ideally in every water change, you want to match up your alkalinity as much as possible, depending on what you got for a tank, and temperature and salinity. All right. So hopefully that answers your question. See you later, Carson. Perfect. Thanks for the info. Could feeding reef rose? Yeah, we talked about that. That's my link. I think the link to the print your STL file might be broken. It brings up a printed pump nem protector. That's weird. Huh. Let me try again. No, that's super weird because I'm on the page right now. Let's try this one. If you go to the website, I'll give you the website too. So try this and let me know what you think. If that doesn't work, then just go to the website and then just type in print STL in the search, or you can go to the 3D section. Either way, let me know if it's still messing up for you because it's working on my end. Shout out from Germany. Haven't been to Germany in forever. Last time I went to Germany, I was drinking. Makes sense though, right? What's up, Travis? Hope all is well. Sorry about your loss with your family. My tank is still rocking after a few years with mainly all your corals. Good to see you back. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm glad one of our tanks is rocking with coral. I'm really pushing the 3D printing right now because I gotta back down on the coral sales. I'm gonna do WYSIWYG, here and there. I might keep up the coral pack. I'm not sure, just because at this point I'm getting in as much coral as I can, putting them on disc. I'm trying to get as much coral in the 300 to grow, and then I just got to grow this stuff out again. Yeah, I had a lot of coral loss a few months back. I lost a ton of coral, unfortunately. So that really set back the sales. And then there is this thing, as I mentioned before, with Big Bertha And this wasn't the long-term plan. And this is what really frustrated me about having that fish and really messed with my business. Having her in the tank. So ideally, when you have a tank, like right now in the video, you can just go in there and snap off a couple frags, right? Boom, 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 put them up as WYSIWYGs or sell them, right? It'd be perfect. That entire colony will continue to grow. But when a fish comes through and then wipes out that entire colony and it's on the bottom of the tank, what do I got to do? Well, I got to pull out the whole colony. Then I got to frag the entire colony because where else am I going to put it, right? And then now I have all these frags. I have to run these sales to get rid of these frags because I have too many frags because the colonies keep getting knocked over. I have to frag them. So when that happens to every colony in the tank, you eventually run out of these colonies to grow. So you're growing. You basically you outsell your growth, and that's what's happened with Big Bertha in the tank. Now, unfortunately, it took all that time and all those corals to get removed before I could actually even get her out of the tank. So putting that fish in the tank was probably the hardest lesson that I learned when it come to growing and running a business off of the 300. Huge mistake. If I didn't have her, that tank would still be full of coral. I'd still have a ton in stock. It wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. So with that, basically what I'm doing now is I'm starting over. I'm putting everything back in the tank. You guys know I did the restart on the 300. And now I'm filling up the low boys and filling up the tub with disc, with frags that are going to eventually grow out the colonies because I don't have any other option. Now, that's going to take time. That's going to take a year at least before I get some decent colonies. And during that time, I got to cut my coral sales back. With that, that means I have to move over to focusing on 3D printing or OnlyFans, one of the two. My OnlyFans career is not really working out. That's just, I don't have the body for it like I used to. Anyways, yeah, so yeah, that's where I'm at. Forgot I'd vent about that damn fish. She's such a good fish though. Like I go over there and I'm petting her this morning while I'm working on corals. She's just coming over, just nibbling, just hanging out. And I'm just like, you know something? You're killing me. Anyways, I'm not going to say what I want to say. Can you show what your candy cane coral looks like? It's on the website. I mean, I could show you in a video, like when I make one, but I don't have like a picture or anything right now. But yeah, I mean, it's a greenish, bluish candy cane coral. It's nothing crazy. It doesn't have any stripes. It's pretty basic. And I have a lot of it actually. So if you want some, let me know. I should cut some of that up too. I got a big colony of it. When are you getting an update on the 300? Maybe I could squeeze one tomorrow. Maybe I could this week or next week, most likely. Yeah. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah. My next fight isn't until October 8th. There's this big one going on October 8th. So I'm just kind of cut and wait until then. I'm going to be Mr. Skinny. That's for sure. What par level would you aim for in a 10-gallon coral invert tank? Well, it depends on what you want to grow for coral, man. Salty Dad, what do you want to grow in there? You want SPS, LPS? You want mushrooms? What kind of stuff are you looking to grow? Ideally, if you're doing like a mixed tank, we'll just say that you're going to want the bottom of the tank to be around 100-ish par, and then you work your way up to the rock structures. Anywhere between 250 to 350 is pretty good for pretty much any SPS. I really haven't ran into anyone that wouldn't grow to that. Torts can be an exception. They like the lower light, but you know, you can still get away with it. Color might not be the greatest, but yeah. So if you're doing a mixed reef, just try to do about 100-ish at the bottom, and then work your way up from there. And then just place your coral accordingly to that. Hopefully that answers your question. Sorry, guys, if there's a delay, like when you put a question in on the other chat, it has to come through the StreamYard. It takes a minute to get over here. A beginner here, would you say a 32-gallon tank to start with? Yeah, why not? Like a 32 BioCube, something like that. That's a good tank to start with. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. People start with smaller tanks. The only reason why people say get a bigger tank is because we all want to upgrade at some point. So when I tell somebody who's interested in the hobby, now, okay, listen, if you've never had a fish tank before in your life, then yeah, maybe something smaller is fine, like a 25, 30 gallon, 40 gallon. Yeah, it's a smaller tank. But if you've had fish tanks before and you're just getting into saltwater aspect of things and you've had like freshwater tanks that are 100 gallons or so, just get the biggest saltwater tank you can afford and fit in the area because you're going to upgrade anyways. So, yeah. I was not stationed in Germany. No, we flew through Germany, stayed there for, oh man, several hours. It wasn't even an overnight on our way to Afghanistan. So we went to Germany, I think Kyrgyzstan, something like that for a while so we can adjust to the altitude. I forgot that. I forgot the name of that place. And then we went to Kuwait and stood in and then basically waited there. And then we went from Kuwait to Bagram, Afghanistan, and then we went to our outpost from Bagram. So because they want you to adjust, it takes a while to get over there, and then they want you to adjust altitude wise to get used to it. Because once you hit the ground in Afghanistan, I mean, the very next day you're either humping a rucksack or you're in the truck. So you gotta adjust your lungs a little bit. Man, I wonder if I trained jujitsu in Afghanistan, if I came back here, if I'd be rocking even more. I don't know. Guess I'll never find out. But yeah, so yeah, I stopped off at Germany on the way through, and I think that was the last time we had alcohol for the rest of the year. So basically, it was a plane full of drunk guys going to war. So the prayers go to the flight attendants. I'll give you that. It's rough, man. It's rough. So yeah, I don't know. That's the way it is, I guess. I don't know if it's like that now, but it's the way it was. Just started with the calc and K1 stir. I have 180 gallon reef. Shifting more sticks. What do you think a good amount of calc to dose, or where could I get that info? So there is no recommended amount, man. It's going to be based off the need of the tank. So start low. Just same thing when you're dialing in 2-part, or you're dialing in the calcium reactor. Oh, what the heck? I don't know. Someone's asking about whose wife. Whose wife are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know. That question came up. What are you talking about, Lisa? Anyways, yeah, so just like dialing in anything, you have to go slow. So just start low with the calc, dripping it. Watch your pH, watch your alkalinity test in the morning and in the evening with your alkalinity, and then just kind of go from there, dial it in based on the demand of the tank. It's not really much. It's not really harder than that. Just do that. You'll find a balance at some point. At some point, it's going to plateau, and you're going to be stuck there for a few days. And then that's when I usually dial it back just a tad bit, because usually before you plateau, it's going to spike up if you just keep going. So dial back just a tiny bit when it plateaus. It'll even itself out. If it comes back down a little bit, just nudge it up about half a bit more. So yeah. Sorry, meant quarantine tank. Let me go up here. Oh, QT tank. Oh, okay. So it's not a tank for mixed reef. It's just a quarantine tank. Did I misread that? I'm sorry if I misread that. Sorry about Salty Dad. Okay, so if it same thing, same answer I had before. 100 par at the bottom, and then work your way up from there. If you're doing more softies and LPS corals, you could even do like 50 to 60 par at the bottom of the glass and work your way up. You can put a rack system in there. I do have feet for egg crate where you can do different levels. Like, you can build them up so they're different platforms at different par ranges. That's what I do in my quarantine tanks. So I have a one for like mushrooms and stuff at the very bottom, which is like 1 inch to 3/4 inches. And then it goes all the way up to 4 inches, depending on the size of the tank. Of course, you're going to have more par as you go up from there. You can even throw some rock in there if you want to put them on rock. It's up to you. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I think we're doing pretty good. If you guys have any more questions, let me know. I kind of don't really have anything else to ramble on. I am looking for feedback on the website. Of course, if you guys see something that doesn't work right, or if there's a misspelling, or if the grammar's bad on something, feel free to tell me. I'm an idiot, man. I literally, this is a one-man show. Everything you see, everything that's going on, all the mistakes, everything, they're all my fault. There ain't nobody else over here doing it. So, and I'm basically a DTD, so I can't spell anything. I have this Google thing that tells me when my grammar's wrong. I just installed that. It's pretty good, by the way. It's also very sad at the same time. So feel free to critique the website or the Facebook page or the Instagram, whatever you want. Send me an email. Like, listen, if you help me out, I'll help you out. Hook me up with whatever you think is going on, whatever you find something, and I'll give you some free stuff. Whatever. If you're taking the time to help me out, I'll hook you up. But yeah, if you guys, we got another question. Let me check here. Yeah, sorry about that. There's a delay. Ryan says running high phosphate's been running C, helping. What the heck? Let me reread that. Running high phosphates, been running C, helping a reactor to lower phosphate levels. Was looking into my liquid phosphate remover to rapidly remove it. Move it. What are your suggestions? Okay, so I would not do anything that rapidly removes the nutrients. I think that's a no-no. It's basically just as bad as me being lazy and dumping in just my nitrates and phosphates that I have, just pouring it in, going, yeah, that looks about right. That's just as bad. I'm guilty of that. It's really a bad habit of mine. Don't put anything in a tank that's going to rapidly do anything, because anything that like that is going to cause issues, right? So I like to use GFO, which by the way, I think I got to get some of that for the 300. So GFO is great for removing phosphates in the tank. I recommend that you do that. You can do the macroalgae. You can increase water changes. You can cut back on the plant-based foods that break down the phosphates. Get rid of, coral foods. Get rid of pellet foods. Go more natural, and it will help eliminate some of those phosphates. Or just cut back on feeding in general. So, yeah. Which chalice is that in the video? Oh man, I'm gonna have to. Oh, that one that's right here right now. That is the, holy smokes. Am I not remembering that? Oh boy. I don't remember, but it's an expensive one. I don't have it anymore because I sold it all because I'm an idiot. Somebody offered me, a price that I couldn't resist. So I did have a bunch of it that I fried down. I don't remember that chalices, man. I feel dumb. It wasn't cheap. I'm sorry. That's the best I can give you. I'm sure there's got to be a video out there on it. Sorry, I'm hitting my mic. Sorry. By the way, my brother's name is Brandon, for anybody who wants to know. What's the best flow you have found for your Goni? Okay, so Goni does not like direct flow. So if you notice in the video here, all the power heads for the Goni are either above or behind it. So I usually like flow to swoop around and then find its way back to the Goni. That seems to be the best. You guys wait till you see the update video on how big that Goni is. It's probably triple the size, and the sweeper tentacles take up the majority of the bottom of that rock now. It's crazy how big that got. Yeah, I can't wait for that. What the heck is it? That whatever, the sea fan or whatever it is, to grow out too. I can't remember the name of it. Gorgonian. Do you know a good battery backup for Nero 3? No, I didn't think they even had one for Nero 3. Speaking of that, someone's supposed to send me a Nero 3 so I can make the pump guard for it. You should send me yours. I'll do it for free. Yeah, I have no idea. I didn't think you could get one for that. A generator? I don't think that works though. I did not know they had a backup for the Neros. C-Gel, sorry, bud. C-Gel, what is? I feel like an idiot. Is that something new? Like, I'm looking through here to see. We're running C-Gel, a reactor to lower. Is that just the name of it? Because I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a product that you're using. I've never heard of it. I could be an idiot. Pretty good chance of that. Yeah, so GFO is the best way I've used to remove phosphates efficiently. Change it out once a month or every other week, depending on your levels. Dose, they have a recommended dose. I always do half the recommended dose at first just to see where my levels drop, because they can be pretty stiff. Yeah, use that in the natural methods as well. Joe says to STL files sent via email and purchase the deposit of 13th. Cool. I'll add you to the list there. Everything's doing pretty good when it comes to coral orders are moving through pretty quickly. I see your email here, Joe. Got it. Thank you. Just want to double check. Orders are moving through pretty well. As I mentioned, I am upgrading all the printers. So hopefully the quality and the downtime will be everything will be better. Appreciate that. By the way, it is buy 3 get 1 free with the code buy 3 get 1 free on 3D printing. So yeah, are saltwater tanks hard to take care of? Well, I mean, difficulty is in the eye of the beholder. If that's the eye of the beholder, I don't know if that's the term. So I guess anything can be hard for somebody. Some people have a hard time wiping their ass because they're too fat. So it's just, it depends on what your definition of hard is. Let's just sum it up to this. When it comes to not only saltwater tanks, but pretty much everything in life, I go from talking about wiping your ass to this. That's kind of the transition I got going on. As with everything in life, if you put the effort in to learn it and to go through the steps to do it correctly, you're going to be good at it. anything you've ever really put effort in, you're going to be good at it if you actually want to do it and you actually want to be successful at it. That goes for anything. Like anybody who's listening to this right now can literally do anything you want, and unless you do have a hard time wiping your butt, you're probably not going to climb Mount Everest anytime soon. But either way, you could lose the weight and do it, right? The point is, with the hobby, you can do it. It's not that difficult. You just got to put the time in to learn it. Try not to make the mistakes. I got 900 videos of things. You can watch the videos. I talk about people's mistakes people make all the time. But then again, making mistakes, even though we want to avoid them, sometimes they're the best way to learn as well. Sometimes you make a mistake and you're like, yeah, I'm definitely not doing that again. And then guess what? You learn something, right? So there we go. Words of wisdom from Fisher Hex. I just talked in the third person twice today. Someone's rubbing off on me. How are you doing, bud? I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, considering the fact all the things that are going on, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. Was it last Monday? Yeah, last Monday I was out. Yeah, last Monday I buried my dad last Monday. Did I talk about that? I don't know if I talked about that. Segue time. I'm pretty good with these segues. So funny thing happened at a funeral. I know that's also not good. So they had so my dad was cremated. So my brother and I, we took his ashes. They're in this box. Then we had to put it in this metal box, and then we had to put that metal box in the ground. Somebody thought it was a good idea. Like, hey, you guys could put your dad in the ground. I'm like, okay. I didn't know that until I was doing it. And then the ground, like the hole is deep. Last time I checked, my arms aren't 4 feet long. They're pretty long, not that long. So I'm like in the hole. My brother's like holding me while I'm trying to get my dad's ashes to the bottom of this hole. So that was fun. And then it rained right afterward. And like nothing like a funeral for the family to like take jabs at each other and just say things that were just stupid. I didn't say anything because I was like, I wasn't in any way, shape, or form in the mood to be talking. But it was a shit show. I expect nothing less though. But yeah, so yeah, I was waist deep in a hole, putting my dad in the ground. So that was fun. Didn't plan that. So yeah, that's my story. I hope he was laughing from up there. It was hilarious. Trust me. Do you want me to clean the coralline algae first? Oh, well, it's about due anyway. I'll email you. No, you don't need to clean it. I got it. I'll spray. I got the power washer here. I'll clean it if you don't want to clean it. It's not a big deal. But yeah, is that for the Nero 3? Yeah, send that to me. I'll clean it. No big deal, man. Send it back to you nice and shiny. Answering questions there. I don't have NEMs, but I feel like free stuff. Yeah, send to me. I'd like to add it to the website. Listen, I got 287 different things on the website right now, which is a lot, by the way. And I will tell you guys, last week or this week, I don't know what week I'm at right now, I was going to put everything as black because I didn't want to deal with the color anymore because of the downtime. But I figured I'd just make my printers better and print faster and print better quality with less downtime to make up for the fact of all the colors. So that's what I did instead. But either way, adding new stuff all the time. Like I'm working up different versions of these mushroom boxes. Like there's so many different things. I probably have 60 or 70 different ideas right now that I have to actively work on. But yeah, so I just love 3D printing. I love creating things to help people. And I've been getting people coming to me with non-reef related issues. Like, hey man, I got this thing going on with my faucet. Can you help me out? Or, this garden hose is not connecting the way it should. Can you make an angle to it? Just these things that are just oddball situations. I really enjoy doing that too. So yeah. What's the best way to run GFO in the back of my overflow return box or in my sock filter if you don't have a reactor? Okay. Okay, yeah, so you can't. So GFO has to tumble. Ideally, for it to work the best, it has to tumble, or it's going to turn into this solid brick, and it's not going to work. So putting it through into your filter sock is not going to be a good idea because there's a good chance that if your filter sock ever clogs up, it's going to spill that GFO particles over. It's going to go into the tank. It's going to be a mess. GFO needs. You could. No, I would not even put it in a filter sock bag because it's not going to tumble right. Ideally, to use GFO, you need to have it in a reactor. You get slight bubbles, agitation at the top for it to work correctly. Yeah, I would not. If it was carbon, yeah, you could put it in the sump. sock, you can, if it was, carbon, you can put it in a bag, a filter bag or whatever, but I would not do that with GFO. No, I can't think of another way of doing it. It would have to be in a reactor. But reactors are pretty cheap. The Phosphate 150 is relatively cheap. It's like 20 or 30 bucks. Probably get one used for even cheaper than that. You can make your own reactor. I've been thinking about that too. I'm thinking about designing my own skimmer too, but I ain't got enough time. But anyway, yeah. That's the best advice I can give you, Ryan. I wouldn't go those routes because it's just not going to be efficient. Too many oopses. You can have some problems. That's all I'm saying. Hey, I'm back. Is there any stores that sells 1.7 PLA filament in Harrisburg? No, there's not. Not at all. Order it all online. I try to buy my stuff in bulk if I can. I've had an issue getting PLA for the longest time. Plus with this so-called recession, quote unquote, it is a recession. Don't argue with me about it. Because trust me, I like to eat sardines. You can judge me whatever you want. I'm just gonna tell you because I don't care if you think it's gross. I take nori. I take sardines from water. I put them on my nori. Man, this is gonna lose me. Don't unsubscribe when I say this. And I put mustard on it. Then I eat it. I roll it up and eat it. You could judge me all you want. I don't even care. You have to try it. It tastes like it's all right. But anyway, sardines used to be 99 cents a can. Now they're like $1.37, $1.40 something. Seriously. Last time I checked, the fish are the same damn size. It's the same can. Don't judge me. Anyways, please don't unsubscribe from the sardine thing. I try not to tell people stuff like that. I think I'm weird. Anyways, better off using PhosGuard in the sock for phosphate control. There you go. You can use you can use PhosGuard and put it in the sock, or you can put it in a bag. Yep. Or you can buy one of my media cups and do it that way. Anyways. All right. Well, we're at the end of the set. We're at the end of the comments here. We're at almost an hour. That's pretty good. It's been a while since I've done one of these. So we've been around 40 to 60 people actively on the live stream. I appreciate that. If you guys want to hit the thumbs up, that'd be great. Sardines are $3.99 here. Where do you live? $3.99. Now, are these big sardines or are these the little mini ones? I'm talking about a little can of sardines. $3.99. Man, that pissed me off. Anyways, I like sardines. They're great. You got the omega-3s. I don't know, the bones are pretty cool to chew on. See it? Jeez. Damn. All right. Well, hey, we're good. We're good. If you guys have any more questions, I'll give you like 10 seconds to put them in. If not, I'm going to head out. I got some stuff I got to get done. And other than that, guys, I hope you have a good week. I'll try to get up a couple more shorts. Again, feedback on the website, all that good stuff. Buy 3, get 1 free, 3D printing, all that stuff I talk about. Coral. Yep. Appreciate you being here. I'll see you next week. All right. Peace.